It's a good thing these aliens aren't around, otherwise we wouldn't be able to do this review because we'd be sitting here in silence. But they are not here, hopefully. And let's get this review going here. A young woman named Sam finds herself trapped in New York City during the early stages of an invasion by alien creatures with ultra-sensitive hearing. Yes, we're probably familiar with them by now, as this kind of takes us back to day one. Yes. So yeah, this is obviously the latest in this kind of growing franchise we have here. A Quiet Place. We've seen a couple of them now, and this one's kind of taking us back to the beginning. You know, we've kind of seen the timeline kind of jump here a little bit. We saw the original, then we saw a little bit after that one, and now we're back to square one. So this is a new movie. It's been out for a little while now, and I know it just hit streaming, so I was able to finally catch it. But I'll try to kind of keep it spoiler free. I don't know. We have huge twists and turns here. But regardless, we'll try to save a little bit for you guys who haven't seen it yet. Let you guys know on the top here, I am a big fan of this franchise. Definitely one of my favorite newer franchises that we've had here over the last several years or so. Big fan of the first one. Really liked the second one. I didn't think, you know, hard to beat the first one. So just let you guys know that I was really excited for this one. It kind of sucked that I had to wait here to see it. I was really wanting to catch it, so I'm glad I finally did. So, you know, we'll see what my ultimate final thoughts are on this one. But here, yeah, we kind of have the beginning of it all. You know, I remember seeing it teased before, and then, so it's finally here. We finally get to see the whole adventure here. You know, not, you know, we'll kind of just jump right into it. I guess it follows, like I said, a young woman who named Sam, who's, you know, having her own struggles of her own in her life and so forth. But kind of goes into the city here. It's just kind of one of those times where, you know, you never really imagine it happening to yourself, where you know, you never know where you're going to be when the, you know, the shit hits the ceiling or whatever. But, you know, she was kind of there in just one place, kind of, you know, struggling with life and living. And then all of a sudden, you know, she ends up on a trip and she finds herself in the middle of the city when the alien creatures come down. You know, whether it would have been good for her to be where she was or here, you know, I don't know. But she is kind of caught in the big city here. You know, I guess, you know, I was kind of thinking about that as you know, they picked obviously, you know, New York and the big city here to kind of feature when these aliens kind of came down. But obviously they came down in lots of many places. So kind of thinking, you know, other places they could have picked. You know, maybe we see another sequel or whatever of the aliens kind of coming in different places. I don't know. I don't know if you want to expand the universe that big. But, you know, here we have in the big city, so, you know, we can raise the drama and kind of the craziness here. You know, in the other ones, we kind of saw them more out kind of in the country, I guess. So I guess it is a different setting here for the aliens and for the movie in itself. But yeah, she's there in the city when the aliens kind of come, and you know, it's just no real, you know, huge explanation to it. They just basically start falling from the sky. It is kind of weird because, you know, you just kind of see these blurs in the sky. You don't really, you know, unless I missed it, you know, you don't really see them coming in ships or anything like that. It's just, you know, I don't know if they're just falling from the sky or what the hell is really happening. But I guess that's just, you know, something that's kind of unexplained or whatever. And, yeah, all hell breaks loose. People are running, of course, you know, as you'd expect. As soon as the aliens are kind of hitting and all this chaos is, everybody's making noise, everybody's running around. So the aliens are kind of having a field day of it, you know, grabbing everybody, killing everybody, causing all the chaos, destroying everything because everything's a mess, until things kind of simmer down a little bit, and I guess some people quickly figure out that hey, if you don't make too much noise, you might survive this. You might survive for the next couple of seconds, minutes, to go. She's kind of sort of a quiet person as it is, so I think that helps. I think that would do good for me if I was in this situation. It's kind of one of those situations that would be okay. I'm generally kind of a quiet person, so this really wouldn't bother me. But yeah, so she's gonna find herself in the middle of this chaos, and then kind of trying to figure her way. And I'm all with her because really at her end game here, as we kind of see, is kind of this situation kind of goes to hell, the world goes to hell, and the one thing that she really wanted when they went to the city is to get a piece of pizza from this specific pizza place. I'm all with her. I love pizza. If I knew that I was going to most likely die at the hands of these aliens, I certainly, would getting a nice slice of pizza from my favorite pizza place would definitely be, a good thought and a good thing to have before, eventually succumbing to these aliens. So I'm with her with that. She also carries around or has a good follower in her cat. When obviously a lot of people saw this before I did, and I saw some of the tweets and whatever, and I guess the one spoiler I will give is that the cat does tend to survive long into this film, and so forth. So yeah, it is a good cat, a quiet cat, and a smart cat. So I just actually over the weekend or recently, I just caught a few glimpses that it happened to be on TV, Crawl, and I kept seeing the dog in that, and I remember how the dog just kind of survived and survived and survived in that one. So as I was thinking about this review, I was thinking, okay, so the cat just happens to survive in this one with no explanation. It just happens to, go along with it and live. So, funny stuff there and how this cat is. And, it has its moments on the screen time there. And, I guess they felt the need to, take an animal along on this journey and so forth. So, but, it served a little purpose. I mean, a little humor, and, it has its moments there. So it is what it is. And I guess for the cat lovers out there, I mean, we know how it is, with us horror fans. You have animals that you like. There's been a lot of horror movies that have killed off animals, and people are like, why'd you have to go and do that for? Especially the dogs. We've seen some dogs die in movies, and you're just like, nah. It never makes anybody happy, but they seem to still do it. So I don't know. Anyway, back to the point here. So, yeah, you're going to kind of find her and weaving her way around the city, and kind of how she comes across things. She's a character and a person who's kind of come at a stage of her life where she's not going to live much longer, and she kind of accepts that. Especially then in the situation when the aliens come. She befriends a guy. She kind of, it's one of those things where, we see survivors kind of get paired together. You don't really know them, but you kind of form a quick bond, and you save them, they save you, and she comes across a guy named Eric, and they kind of bond, and he kind of bonds with the cat a little bit too as well, so that helps. The cat likes him, and that definitely wins him points. And, they have some moments there, not romantic moments, but they have some moments there where, they build a quick friendship and a quick liking of each other, and helping each other out through the situation. And, there comes a point, where when she's alone before she kind of meets him, and she sees a bunch of survivors, and they're all kind of going one direction, and kind of oddly kind of see her, go the other direction. You're kind of wondering, does she not trust the group, or she just wants to be different? Like, what is her thought process there? And, does it serve her? Does it not? Obviously, chaos ensues. You have a large group of people moving through. Eventually, someone's going to make noise, and that's not going to be good. So she does do some curious things, and she's definitely a curious character, very sympathetic character. I think one of the things The Quiet Place seems to do, and kind of we saw that definitely in the first one, even in the first moments of the first one, is kind of not be afraid to give you a character and take away a character, or give you a character that or give you a moment where you're just gonna really feel bad because of something that happens to the character. We saw it in the first moments of the first one. We saw it at the end of the first one. We saw a lot of struggle in the second one with the family and the daughter and her struggles there, and her issues, and then her struggles, with her hearing, and then her family, and what, her place in trying to save them and so forth. So, you kind of see these very, very, deep characters, and trying to be sympathetic with them. And, this is another one. And, like I said, I'm not going to kind of keep this spoiler free, but, kind of, where the two main characters kind of end up in the end of this movie. It kind of, brings you right back to the first one and the second one, where you have, characters, and you're just going to kind of look at it, by the time it ends, and hopefully you kind of have a bond. They try to really get the audience to have a bond, and feel for them, and feel for what ultimately happens to them. And I think you have that here, is at least that's what they try to do, and try to build up throughout. So, and that's all great and good and so forth. But if you guys know me, I'm in for the action, and obviously blood and guts, but not totally about blood and guts here. I mean, the aliens do obviously kill some people. It doesn't necessarily get, bloody and gory and that kind of stuff. But I was definitely, seeing this one, very interested in seeing the aliens, more of the aliens, see them in action, see what they're doing, maybe to learn a little bit more about them. And I don't know that we learned a whole bunch. Like I said, they just kind of fall from the sky, which we kind of already knew, kind of. And, we knew they're sensitive to sound and whatever. We kind of see them in maybe, more groups. I don't remember, exactly everything in the first one. The second one, how much we saw the aliens in action. I know, they tried to keep, certain things hidden and so forth, a little bit of secrecy with them, mystery with them. You definitely see them in this one. There's a really cool scene where she's kind of, I think it was the sewer, or she's in the water, and she's kind of going, and kind of one is kind of above the water and kind of crawling. That was an interesting scene. We find out, something about them and relates to water. But, and I so I guess that's a thing. So, but I don't know. I wanted a little bit more. I wanted a little bit more of the aliens. I would have wanted a little bit more of the chaos. But I'm not surprised that it kind of, then kind of boiled down to some, dramatics, and some, a lot about the relationship that builds between these two characters. I did see a review or two. Some people, really liked that and gravitated to that. The acting performances of both of them are really good, even though they don't really say, a whole lot. There's not a whole lot to be said. There is a little bit to be said, in the beginning, before all the chaos starts. You kind of see, even though she doesn't say a lot, but when she does speak, she is quite the character. And even in some of the actions and whatever that go on, I think they do a very good job of kind of building a bond, and building a bond not between them, but also with the audience, without, again, saying a whole lot. They don't really say a whole lot here. But still, I think that kind of helps, just because, and there's one scene in particular where they're going to be together, and it's going to be a really happy moment. And I think that just kind of builds and kind of, kind of sets up what's to come, and then how, you know, the emotions of the two characters and the emotions of the audience and how they're going to feel with what ultimately happens. Which again, I'm gonna say it again. It's fine and all good, but I just want to see the aliens kill a bunch of people. I mean, you know, to me, that's what I want to see. You know, you can say what you want about me and that feeling, but you know, when I go into a lot of movies, you know, a lot of horror movies, you know, I'm in it for the killing. I'm in it for the blood and guts. I'm in it for the action and whatever. You know, I understand it's movie building and you have to build characters and build, you know, all these things and, you know, sometimes have messages and all that shit. But, you know, at the end of the day, for me, you know, it's just very simple. You know, all that stuff can be good. It can make for a great movie, wonderful stuff, and all that good stuff and whatever. And maybe you win you some awards, you know, if you're a big enough movie or whatever. Horror doesn't win a lot of awards, but whatever. But yeah, at the end of the day, you know, let's get to the blood and guts. Let's get to the killing. Let's get to the monsters. Let's get to the aliens. So yeah, you know, I could have maybe had a little bit more of that, wanted a little bit more of that. You know, obviously when they landed, that was exciting and in the craziness, whatever. But then, yeah, you know, we do get these two characters and you know, them bonding and spending time and whatever. There's some, you know, there's a couple of moments, you know, obviously they mix the aliens in. They're very, very suspenseful. You have to be very quiet. You know, you do make a mistake here and there, and you know, do end up in some chases, whatever, you know, but much to what you would kind of expect. So, you know, I don't know. So at the end of the day, I think, you know, we've pretty much gone in order and kind of what you would expect. Part 1, I really, really loved. Fabulous movie. Loved it, loved it, loved it. You know, part 2 was good. You know, not, you know, kind of close to 1, but, you know, didn't quite get all the way there for me. And, you know, then this one is kind of right behind that. So, you know, we're pretty much, you know, sticking right in order. I don't, you know, I assume this is not the end of the franchise. I assume, you know, there's plenty more to be said and had and done, whatever, you know, that can be done. I assume it seems like a big enough universe that can, you know, obviously introduce different characters, you know, here and there in different places. You know, I don't know if they have more to tell us about the aliens, why they came, how they really got here. You know, do we want to go into space and see the aliens where they originally came from? You know, there's a lot to unfold here if they want. So I assume we'll see more. I assume the franchise still made enough money to make more of these movies. So we'll see. So, you know, so as it goes right now, I think it's kind of as expected. You know, part 1, part 2, part 3, put them in order. I don't remember what I gave part 2. I would assume 3.5 pools of blood, and I assume, I think part 1 I gave probably 4.5 or 5 because you know, like I said, I really loved it. So on this one, I'm going to give 3 pools of blood. And hopefully I did that all correct. If you really want to search the blog and go and find out what I gave the other ones, have at it, please feel free to. But I'm going to give this one 3 pools of blood. You know, I kind of think that's kind of where it's in line here. In comparison to the other two, you know, I wanted to kind of hold it on its own, but, you know, I can't place this above either of the other two. Definitely a good film. Definitely, you know, it sticks within, you know, what they're trying to create here with the characters, with the aliens and all that. But yeah, you know, I don't know. I just want more. You know, maybe we'll get another one with a lot of alien action. Yeah, we never get that because budgets and all that. But here's the hoping. But yeah, 3 pools of blood out of 5 for day 1 here. So with that, horrorosgorereviews.blogspot is where you can find all of my reviews written in video. Certainly mostly video reviews for a while now. So you can like and subscribe and do everything that everybody else wants to do here on YouTube. But if not, no worries. It is truly okay. You know, I thank you for your time regardless. Twitter, Facebook information down below. You can check that out. Follow, like me there, whatever, or not. That's fine. But if you want to talk horror, talk about this movie, the other movies in the franchise, you want to talk about them, I'm happy to do so. And also in the comment section, you know, if you've seen all 3, you know, and you have a different ranking, you know, let me know. That'd be interesting to find out if you liked it in a different order or so. and definitely your thoughts on this film, or if you want to even see more or not. So yeah, with that, I guess I'll catch you on the next review, horror fans.